Let us start. Vasudev Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Right, we still continue on chapter 2nd, 15 verses, verse 15, okay? Yam hina vyathayantye Yam hina vyathayantye Purusham Purusharshabha Purusham Purusharshabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Somrutattvaya Kalpate Somrutattvaya Kalpate. O the best of man, Purusham Purusharshabha, O the best of man, a person to whom pain and pleasure are alike, and who is not tormented by these sense objects, becomes eligible for immortality. If you remember last week, when we discussing Mrutyorma Amrutam Gamaya. What it says here, Somrutattvaya Kalpate. So, when we are on this Somrutattvaya Kalpate on the 15th verse of 2nd chapter, Amrutam Gamaya. Basically, this is a Shanti prayer from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. We need to know and we need to understand this also. What is Amrutam? What is immortality? And we were discussing that what we call death, that is the death of the body, you can say. Atma is immortal. So, what is the full prayer? Om Asato Ma Sat Gamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrutyor Ma Amrutam Gamaya. It's basically it's a disciple or the student, or you can say the seeker's prayer to Almighty. It says, lead me from untruth to truth. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Lead us from ignorance to knowledge. From darkness. Which darkness? Darkness of ignorance to light. Which light? The light of spiritual knowledge. And from death to immortality. It is used as a purifying prayer which is chanted for the well-being of oneself, for humanity, for all of us. It is not limited to one single person or one single community or one single country or one single religion. It's for all, and that's why the word is used here, for the well-being of oneself, for humanity, for everybody. It's for everybody. It's not limited. Okay. So, as I told you, this is the Shanti mantra. Shanti mantra from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It's also known as Pavamana mantra. Pavaman is, it's a Sanskrit word, being purified. Is an ancient Indian mantra introduced in this Upanishad, which is known as Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. We are still on that 15th word, Somrutatvaya Kalpate. Okay, but since we are discussing this, I'd like to take you a little more. Okay. As I told you earlier, this is a prayer for all of us. Everywhere, and in this Upanishad, it has been so briefly and beautifully described and explained or expressed. It's a short prayer, just few letters. But all the aspirations of the human heart have been included, have been taken care of. Everybody wants Asatoma Sadgamaya. Everybody wants Tamasoma Jyotirgama. Everybody wants Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. So we all want to go from darkness to light, from untruth to the truth, and from death to immortality. This is a prayer for total termination of all attachment. Not only termination of all attachment, but the false identifications. My kaka, my mama, my house, my car. If I am not there, the world will still exist. Don't worry. Everybody will be living happily. You just need to know the art of living. I'm not talking about that group of art of living. I'm talking of the art of living. How to live. Okay, how to live and how to live. So, this prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya, for total termination of all attachment and false identifications. A prayer to take us from death to immortality. Immortality cannot be achieved unless one is free from the lower impulses of lust, anger, and other such demonic qualities. unless these devils are destroyed and divinity restored. Two things. Trivial qualities should be destroyed and divine quality should be restored, divinity should be restored, until evil is annihilated and death is transcended by establishing purity in thought. So how is going to start? Mind. My thoughts. My thoughts are going to create the path for my whole of my life. Do you remember? Not few weeks back, few months back, I have shared that Tanme Manah Shiva Sankalpamastu. Some of them are practicing, some of them are not. My thoughts. So, by establishing purity in thought, words, and actions, one cannot hope to attain immortality. Thus, the human heart here pours out in prayer. That we need. Asato ma sadgamaya. Okay. So, basically, these are three lines. Asato ma sadgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya. Mrityor ma amrutam gamaya. Asato ma sadgamaya. The first line. The sat. The word sat means truth. Reality. And pure existence means sat. On the other hand, asat means opposite to the sat. Means untruth, unreal, and non-existence. Now, the seeker or the student or the disciple is seeking the ultimate truth in his or her life. Truth does not necessarily means by or presenting fact. And that's why in the scripture it has very well defined that sate hitam satyah, which action leads me towards the supreme reality, meaning supreme reality means Brahma. Which action leads me towards supreme reality is a sat, not mere presenting the fact. And that's why we do see that the example that okay, you are, for an example, you are in the jungle, okay, in the forest, and you at the say on the T junction, for an example, okay, you waited there or taking pause, let's put that way, okay, for a while, and behind you the cow is coming and running, okay, and the cow took right turn, okay. Remember, You are on the T junction. Cow is coming from behind, okay? And then cow was running, and cow took right turn, okay? Now, after a while, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the butcher comes, okay, with the sword, talwar, okay? And he asks you, did you see the cow? Which side the cow gone? What will you say? The truth is right. But you have seen that person with the sword. That means he wants to kill the cow. He is not going to worship the cow with the sword in his hand. You're going to say left, not the right. So, in the definition of material world, okay, you spoken truth. Because cow went to the right and not the left. Satehitam. But if you would have spoken so-called truth, that action does not lead us to the supreme reality. Here, our duty is to save the cow, to look after the cow. And for that, if you have to say left, so be it. So, what I mean to say, Sat does not necessarily mean to present fact. The sages, the great man has given the definition of Sat is Satehitam iti satyaha. The action leads you, leads us, when I say you means us, towards the supreme reality, towards the valuing of all of us. That is defined as Sat. Rest all is Asat. So, the student here is seeking the ultimate truth in the life. He has come to understand the limitations of the present life that he is leading. He now realizes that all his possessions, belongings, wealth, health, food, houses, bungalow, factory, shops, apartment, maybe વધારે પૈસાવાળા હોય તો mall, shopping complex, means of transportation, success, fame, name, etc. are all transitory. Are all transitory in nature. They come and go. They are not a source of permanent happiness or joy. Anything that can be considered true or real must exist in all three stages of life: present, past, future. Everything in this ephemeral universe is constantly undergoing the changes. Be it our human body, go through constant changes. Our mind, our intellect are constantly changing. What we are thinking today, we may not have thought yesterday. When I say yesterday, 10 years back. What we are thinking today, maybe after 10 years we might be thinking something different. Even the intellect, whatever we say in our, forget about the highly intellect and this and that and knowledge. The simple example, right? What we used to remember at the age of 25, we can't remember now. What we used to learn quick at the age of 28, we can't learn it quick now. So, our mind, our intellect are constantly changing. Thus, none of these can be labeled as a source of eternal joy. No. The student, the seeker, in the first line of this verse is thus seeking the ultimate truth and reality in life which never undergoes any change. Asato ma sat gamaya. Next line. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya. Tamas, darkness, what we call in Gujarati andharu. And jyoti means light. In all our scriptures, be it Veda, Purana, Upanishad, etc., tamas refers to the darkness, and darkness of ignorance. And jyoti refers to the light of wisdom, light of true knowledge. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. There is a term in Sanskrit. The word for ignorance is avidya. The scripture like Yoga Sutra or Patanjali Yoga Sutra states that avidya means ignorance. And avidya, the ignorance, is the root cause of all sufferings. The scripture defines ignorance as ignorance is regarding the impermanent as permanent. The impure as pure, the painful as pleasant, and the non-self as self. This definition seems to echo the state of our mind most of the time when we are in a state of confusion. Because we have accepted this, that is going to be permanent. And that is the root cause. And that's why I think we have discussed that quite a few months back. Why we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. we will get chance, we will say sometime again, not in today's class. So, tamaso, from ignorance to light, light of wisdom, light of knowledge. And once that is lit in our life, there will be no more confusion. It's clear cut. Like 2 plus 2 is 4. The only remedy for darkness is light. You know, the darkness can be in our life for decades together or years together. But the moment one spark, there is a light. The room is closed since last 10 years. But to bring light in that room does not need 10 years. The moment you light a candle there, or the divo, today's term, the bulb, or the globe, fluorescent, it doesn't take 10 years. So, the only remedy for darkness is light. And the scripture, the most commonly quoted example is snake in a rope. We felt that the rope, we assume this is not rope, but this is a snake. But the moment we know, we realize that, oh, Ahmed, this is not snake, this is rope. Then all that ignorance is gone. Yes, snake in the rope. Okay, how that starts in the scripture is, well, it's often used in the scripture. A man is walking in the street late in the evening when the light is very dim. He sees something lying curled up on the ground and runs away fearing that it's a snake. Oh my God, snake. A passerby who has flashlight is able to throw light on the object and show to this man that it was only a piece of rope there. In the darkness of ignorance, the man suffered the emotions of fear, anxiety. Our life, for the most part, is built around similar instances of ignorance, where we take unreal for real and go through suffering. I mean, look, this, and that's why I'm always saying that this teaching, be it from Bhagavad Geeta or any other scripture, if it is not going to be applicable in our today's life, it's only going to help us after the death. Then what's the point? What it says here, it's built around similar instance of ignorance. And that's why I give the example earlier. મારા વગર તો ચાલે જ નહીં, બધું ચાલે. Thousands and thousands people came and gone, and world is still existing. You are here to do your role, to do your part, to do your duty. And then, when time comes, exit. Exit gracefully. It can be any place. Not necessary exit from the life. That exit is not in our hand. Be it work, be it anything, exit gracefully. You don't have to glue. ऊनी हो तो गीता क्लास कौन चलावे, कोई भी हो चलावे. You know, but I have built that. It's fine. It's time for you to go. Attachment. And the greatest example, because we are the follower of Bhagavan Krishna. We are the devotee of Bhagavan Krishna. Two authentic scriptures was described about Bhagavan's life. Mahabharata and Bhagavad. There are other scriptures as well. Once Bhagavan Krishna has left Gokul or Vrindavan, he did not go again. When he was there, he loved his fellow Govadiya, his Gopi, the whole of Gokul or Vrindavan, you would say. છે ત્યારે પ્રેમ કરવાનો, પછી છોડી દીધું, fine, detached. So, through the through the process of mental purification, we can begin to remove the ignorance and get the light of true wisdom and understanding. The process will ultimately lead to self-realization. Who am I? From where I have come? Where I am going? What's my duty here? We are here to fulfill our duty. We are here to fulfill our role. That's it. And I don't know to what extent that is true. We are here to make some difference. It may work, it may not work. It may not work. But we need to do what we are supposed to do. We need to find that cause why I am here, what I am supposed to do, and then the divinity will guide you. Third line, Mrutyorma amrutam gamaya. The word mrityu, the literal meaning is death, yes, and that is true. And amrut means immortality. Since we do not know our true nature as being pure consciousness, Chidanandarupah Shivoham Shivoham. So, pure consciousness, Satchit Anand. We identify ourselves with the mind, body, ego complex. This puts us in this cycle of birth and death and rebirth. Punarapi jananam, punarapi madaram, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam. The Sanskrit term sansar that is the real term, what we call this cycle, birth and death, and rebirth, and die again, then born again. That is what we call sansar. The term immortality here means that we want to get out of this cycle of sansar by attaining self-realization. We recognize that our true identity is nothing but pure consciousness. And that's why we say, Om Purnamadah Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. I'm whole, I'm not the part. So, the pure consciousness which undergoes no change, and that's why we say, Atma Amarshe Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. It will come in this. We'll discuss that. Thus we can terminate the cycle of birth and death and rebirth. In the yoga philosophy, we understand that it is just the physical body which comes into that 5 elements, in that cycle of death and birth. It is the soul, Atman, which is tied up with the subtle body, mind, intellect, etc., that undergoes this cycle of sansar. Once the soul recognizes its true nature, it's no more tied up with the mind, body, ego complex, and thus free forever. That's illusion. My house, my body, my family. Yes, when we living this part, when we are acting this role, yes, but we need to learn how to detach gradually. And that's why, according to a scripture, four-folded life, brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyasa ashram. Complete renunciation. Complete renunciation. In this line, the student is seeking an understanding of the true nature of self. So there is no more a fear of death in the mind. Mrityu, what we call, what we understand, right? That's unavoidable. But the moment we have the understanding our true nature, or true nature of self, then there is no fear. Okay, I am ready. I am ready. We don't have to say, Bhagwan kyara lai jawano. And simultaneously, we don't have to say, Ke jo bo var che. Yeah, whenever the time is fine. I have prepared myself. I have prepared myself. It can come anytime. And I'll be ready. Okay? I mean, we have no choice, to be very honest. We have no choice. When it is knocked, go. So mrutatvaya kalpate, Bhagwan says here, and who is not tormented by this sense objects becomes eligible for immortality. What it says, let me read it again, the 15th verse translation. Oh, the best man Oh, the best of man, a person to whom pain and pleasure are alike, and who is not tormented by this sense objects, becomes eligible for immortality. Pain, pleasures comes and goes, happiness comes and goes. It's a cycle, it's a cycle. Day, night. Yes, it's a cycle. It comes, it goes. There is a very good, not poem, but part of, you can say in Gujarati, ઊંચી નીચી ફર્યા કરે છે જીવનની ઘટમાળ, ભરતી પછી ઓટ છે, ઓટ પછી જુવાળ. Tide, when it comes in the ocean, it comes, but then it goes. The happiness comes, but then it goes. It is bound to go. It's bound to go. We have started Geeta class as quarter past 7. That means we're going to stop at some point. Then we're going to start it again. Birth and rebirth. So, that is the death. And that is the birth again. So, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in everybody's life, right? Okay? This human life has not been bestowed upon man to experience pleasure and pain, but to attain the supreme bliss, having obtained which he has nothing else to seek. This is the same thing Bhagavan is going to tell in the 6th chapter. Bhagavan says in the 22nd verse, Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena purunamapi vichalyate. Having gained the state, one does not consider any attainment to be greater. Being thus established, one is not shaken even in the midst of the greatest calamity. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. It comes, yeah, and then we are human. We feel it for a while. We get disturbed for a while, but that also should be transient. If we remain greedy and desirous of acquiring favorable circumstances, we shall not be able to make use of those circumstances, because our energy will be washed in the enjoyment of those circumstances rather than in making proper use of these. That is more important. We got it. Use it for the benefit of all. And there is something which are not favorable, that we are thinking that that's not favorable. But master plan can be different. Accept it. Accept it. Accept it. We need to use it properly. And we need to accept it, even if it is not favorable according to our definition. That is, friends, that is the teaching of Gita. That we must understand. Because if you don't use it properly, it can be, I mean, look, let's take wealth, okay? Bhagavan has blessed us with good wealth. And if we are not using that in proper manner, Because the moment we got the wealth, it's not for me only, not for us only. It should be used for the benefit of others as well. But we conveniently forget this. It is a proper use of desirable circumstances. If having satisfied our needs, we use these to serve the needy and the destitute, instead of enjoying these ourselves only. Actually, our wealth are for the needy and the poor. So we should utilize this for their welfare also. Because, look, when something happens which we don't like, we always ask Bhagwan, okay? Sometimes loudly, sometimes in our mind. Why only me? Do we ask the same question when we are blessed with the good wealth? Why only me? Bhagavan is going to ask, I have blessed you. Did you use it nicely? Did you use it wisely? And if the answer is no, then Bhagavan will say next birth, you don't deserve. You don't deserve. So, now the question arises how to make use of undesirable circumstances. The answer is that undesirable circumstances are painful when there is desire for pleasure. I repeat, the question arises how to make use of undesirable circumstances. The answer is that undesirable circumstances are painful when there is desire for pleasure. And I mean, look, for the saying, for the proverb, it's very nice. Men propose and God dispose. But who told you to propose? For the saying, it's nice. We often use that. Men propose and God dispose. Who told you? So, are painful when there is a desire for pleasure. If that desire is renounced, then undesirable circumstances cannot be painful. It comes, for example, if the person is sick, doctor has to give that injection or the medicine. Maybe the tablet is better. But if the patient knows that this bitter tablet, this painful injection is ultimately going to lead me for my good health, then there is no complaint. So, then there will be no grudges. The main thing is our desire. Main thing is our desire. Okay. So, that is the verse 15 according in the chapter 2. Okay. Right. Since the word Bhagavan has, the term rather, Bhagavan has used, Somrutatvaya kalpate, becomes eligible for, becomes eligible for the immortality, Bhagavan has very well explained to us. And since this Somrutatvaya kalpate terms as part of this verse, I thought let me take you for the journey of this particular verse from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Asatoma Sadgamaya. So, in today's talk, today's discussion, okay, whatever you like, credit goes to all the great men, all the sages, all the wise men, all the saints, all the scriptures. What I have heard, I have learned, I have studied, I have listened to it. Absolutely, absolutely nothing belongs to me. As I always mention for the Geeta class, since it was started 23 years back, from the beginning, the main reference book is Pandit Ram Sukdas ji, Swami Ram Sukdas ji's interpretation or the pravachan or the discourse on Gita, which is known as Sadhak Sanjivani. So we must express our gratitude to Swami Ram Sukdas ji also. We will be reciting the 73rd verse of chapter 18, and then we'll request Sumitra Ben to lead us with the Arti. Nashto moha srudirlabdha tat prasadan maya chuta sthitosme gata sandeha karishyē vachanam tava.